Take a quick look at any photo, and almost instantly you can say what's happening. A brown dog running across a field. You don't even think about it. For us, it feels effortless. But here's the thing. For a machine, that one short sentence is surprisingly hard. To write it, the model has to solve three different problems all at once. In this project, I rebuilt the classic 2015 model that first pulled this off, end to end. Small enough to train on a laptop, it's called show, attend, and tell. So what are those three problems? A model has to see, write, and align all at once. Let's take them one by one. First, see. The model turns raw pixels into useful features, not just what is in the image, but where each thing sits, and that location part matter more than you'd expect. Second, write. It builds the caption one word at a time, almost like typing, and each new word has to fit naturally with the words that already came before it. Third, and this is the fun one, align. For each word, the model chooses the where to look at. When it's about to say dog, it should be looking at the dog. When it says a filter word like the, it can just ignore the image. Now, none of these three is that hard on its own. The real challenge is doing all things together inside one model that learns them at the same time. You might be thinking, why bother with model from 2015? It's like 10 years old. Well, here's the surprise. Today's biggest model still shares exact same skeleton. Think about GPT-4 Vision, Gemini, or Claude Vision. Underneath, they all use the same basic shape, a vision encoder, a language decoder, and attention connecting the two. The pieces got way bigger and smarter, but the shape barely changed. So once you really understand this 2050 model, you understand the blueprint behind all of them. Let me walk you through how it actually works. It starts with the image. I feed it into a ResNet 101 encoder that already pre-trained on ImageNet, and I keep it completely frozen. I never trained it. So I just cut off its last layer, so instead of one label, it now gives me a 7 by 7 grid. That's 49 little regions, each described by a vector. And because the encoder is frozen, I run it just once and save the result, which makes the training much faster. Now the fun part, the decoder at every step, it looks at all 49 regions and scores how well each one matches the word it's about to say. Those scores become attention weights, and it blends the regions into one focused vector. That's attention, working in real time. There's also a small gate that lets the model turn the image down for words like the, where the picture doesn't really help. It takes that focused vector plus the previous word, predicts the next word, and then loops back and does it all over again. Here's the detail worth knowing. The attention is soft. Instead of picking one single region, it blends many of them. And that's where what keeps the whole model trainable. But the soft attention has a sneaky problem. The model can get lazy and just stare at one spot, ignoring the rest of the image. To stop that, I add some called doubly stochastic regularization. In plain words, it gently pushes the model to spread its attention across whole image over the sentence, like a spotlight that has to sweep the entire stage, instead of freezing on one actor. For data, I use Flickr 8K, about 8,000 images, each with 5 human captions. One important detail, I split the data by image, not by captions, so the same image never sneaks into both training and testing. That keeps the evaluation honest. And remember, I only train the decoder and the attention. The encoder stays frozen the whole time. With early stopping and beam search at the end, one full run takes just about 27 minutes on a laptop. So how did it do? On my very first full run, BLEU4 came in at 0.2195, comfortably above the 0.18 target I'd say. And BLEU4 is strict. It only rewards you when 4 words in a row match. So that's a real result, not a fake one. The training curve tells a nice story too. Validation loss kept dropping until approach 5, and then it started climbing back up. Even while training loss kept falling, that's textbook overfitting. And early stopping caught it automatically. Beam search gave me a free boost, about 2 BLEU points over plain greedy decoding. But going fast beam size 3 barely helped, so beam 3 was the sweet spot. And to keep myself honest, I fixed 4 pass or fail condition before I ever ran it. All 4 passed on the first try, so I didn't need to tune anything. But here's a catch. A good score can lie. A model that cheats by ignoring the image can still rack up a decent BLEU. So I checked the attention directly with my own eyes. For every noun, I asked one simple question. Does the attention have a single clear hotspot? 23 out of 24, and you can actually see it. When the model says dog, the heat map lights up right on the dog. The attention is real. Honestly, the mistakes are just as interesting. The most common one, the model plays it safe. It falls back on generic, common phrases like a brown dog runs through the grass, even when its attention is pointed at the right object. Second, it swaps color and details. It might say brown when the dog is actually gray. The language habit it picked up just overpowered the frozen encoder. Third, rare words turn into unknown and quietly drop out. And fourth, it miscounts object and misread poses. Because 7 by 7 grid is just too coarse to count with. But notice the pattern. All four trace back to one root cause. A strong language habit paired with a frozen encoder that cannot push back hard enough. Let me wrap up with three takeaways. First, the attention is genuinely real. You can literally see where the model looks, and that matters. Second, beam search is almost free performance as long as you tune its strength and width together. And third, the big one, the simple shape of frozen vision tower, a small language head, and attention in between is exactly the blueprint that today's huge multimodal models scale up. The natural next step would be swapping the LSTM for transformer decoder with cross attention. Not bad for 2015 paper rebuilt on a laptop in 2 weeks.